Hi everyone, this is Sohaib Hasan back in another LinkedIn Live with Jana, all the way from Berlin, Germany. I'm just making sure that we are actually live because we just encountered a problem on a StreamYard before going live. So I just make sure on my mobile device that we are actually live, and then we'll begin with today's live broadcast. Yes, everything looks good.
Perfect.
Everything perfectly fine. Awesome. All right. So, warm welcome to everybody in another live broadcast. I know you have been asking a lot of questions regarding jobs in Germany, moving to Germany. What is the process, and how you can, source different job opportunities, how you can connect with the recruiters, different type of interview questions, and also like the job search visa, which is around now for quite a few years, and a lot of people like from different parts of the world, they have been moving to Germany on jobs seekers visa or job search visa, whatever you want to call it, for 6 months, and then you look for jobs while being in Germany. So today I have Jana with me, Jana Koehler. She is the CEO and co-founder of Mitra, which is a platform to advise and help the international community, international job seekers in making a move to Germany if they are looking for career prospects in Germany. And they have different type of services which help them for their job searching and getting employed in Germany. Jana, welcome. Another live broadcast.
Thanks for having me here. I'm glad to be live right now.
Oh, yes. I'm actually happy because everything is working fine now, because when we started, there was a little glitch. So I thought like, okay, so we are not going live, and we have already announced on the internet and on my different social media platforms, in Telegram, in LinkedIn, and on my WhatsApp as well. But glad that we're live. So, I mean, bad year 2020 for all of us because of COVID and each and everything. Guys, I have already prepared a set of questions because when I announced that I'm doing live with Jana, so you have asked a lot of different questions previously as well, and in that post as well. So I summed up all those questions and I have listed down all those questions. So please stay with us as we will be answering all of these questions. Which roles are hiring in Germany, industries. We're going to talk about the companies which are employing outside Germany. Companies are employing, or they are not like employing right now, different modes of interviews, and list a bunch of questions. So this is going to be a very, very informative live broadcast. So I request you guys to stick around, grab a cup of coffee, because we'll be speaking for good about 45-minute session and answering all these questions. And in the meantime, you can drop in your comments where you're watching from, and we'll try to answer your questions as well in case you are leaving them in the comments below. So my first question, Jana, this is regarding the 2021 outlook for the German market. I know we had a session last year and you shared absolutely fantastic insights, but how do you see now in 2021 the German job market? How is it picking up, and how do you see 2021 for the German market?
Yeah, I think just like you said, I think this is a really interesting question, because I think last time we talked, we were in the middle of the Corona pandemic, unfortunately still the case. But I think the good news is that there definitely is a demand on the job market. And I have seen a lot of forecasts saying that they are expecting the German economy to pick back up starting from mid this year. But actually what I can see is that in certain domains, we already have companies hiring right now. So I would say it really depends on what kind of profession you're in right now, but there are certainly professions where there still is a demand on the market and where it's worth it to look into the German job market in 2021. So I think it's generally a good year to start your job search. Of course, things may take a bit more time than usual because of the whole Corona pandemic. But I think that's the case everywhere. And there are also a lot of new opportunities coming up because of the pandemic. And I think that's also something we're going to talk about. So, yeah.
And this is very, 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 I would say, a very hopeful answer and a very positive answer. And I think this will inspire a lot of the international job seekers, especially those who are willing and especially those who are wishing to make a move to Germany. So I think you have answered in the right way, so which is great. But this leaves us to the next question, which is, I think a lot of people would be interested in knowing what are the roles. I mean, companies are hiring very actively, and which industries more specifically are hiring right now in Germany. If you can share some insights on this as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. So, of course, there is a downside of Corona as well. I mean, there are industries which are a bit difficult right now. That's also something I have to point out. But there are industries, for instance, like the whole logistics environment, where there is a big demand right now because e-commerce, online shopping, everything has increased with everyone sitting at home. And also what I've been seeing lately is that a lot of companies here in Germany are trying to make use of this time and trying to finally become more digital in terms of the solutions that they're using internally, but also in terms of new solutions that are coming up. So I would say in software development, also in IT in general, I've also seen a lot happening in cybersecurity, cloud solutions, and so on. There is a high need. So if you're into any of these domains, also data analytics, I think that's a very good domain. If you look outside the whole IT environment, because I think that's something where we already had a big demand before the crisis. But if you look outside of that, of course, naturally, everything related to healthcare is booming right now. That's, I think, another environment where there's a lot happening. And then, as I said, I think if you are not if you don't have an IT background, or if you don't have an engineering background, where there are also a lot of openings right now, or healthcare, I think then it really makes sense to look at industries that are relevant right now. As I said, logistics, pharma, e-commerce, and so on. So really make sure that you are applying to this kind of company right now, and not just any company. I think right now people have to focus when they look for jobs.
Exactly. Yeah. Great explanation. Wonderful. And I run my group on LinkedIn as well for jobs in Germany, which now nearly has 98,000 members, and I'm just super excited once it's 100,000 members within a week. I hope so. And I have been actually watching. I mean, like every day there are 20 to 25 job posts within the group, and you're absolutely right. Like right now, people who are in the IT sector, who are like in any kind of IT, like as you said, like cloud engineers, software developers, there are like back-end, front-end developers, web developers, and applicants who know different kind of programming languages, and they do different kind of things in the IT, cybersecurity, database, SQL, blah 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 thing. So I think they really have a bright future in Germany. And I have personally seen like my friends who have moved to Germany, and they belong to the IT background. So people who are watching right now, if your background is IT, you should feel lucky, and you should take the opportunity.
You have a bright future. Definitely.
You know, at one point of time, I did think like, why not to go for another degree, like a 4-year bachelor's in IT? Because IT, I think right now is the future, and COVID has taught us like the importance of being digital and accepting all the new norms, all the new, let's say, new norm of doing different kind of things. And IT is the backbone. IT is the backbone. Yeah. So great opportunity for candidates or professionals who have the background in the IT. All right. So when it comes to companies now, you know, employers, they are actively posting jobs. 2021 looks good to the employers and towards the German job market. So in your personal opinion, what do you think employers, they have already started hiring outside from Germany, or still they are preferring people from within the European market, or those who are based out in Germany, they have the German experience and they have the residence permit, and only those are being given the extreme focus?
I think that's, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are new opportunities coming up. And I think the upside of the whole Corona pandemic is that there are companies which are shifting towards a kind of remote setup. And I've also seen a lot of cases where companies are thinking about doing this on the long run as well. And this, of course, changes the whole hiring and recruitment process, right? So I think especially for like new employments and for kind of test runs and everything, there's a lot being done remotely. And I think that's a great opportunity for everyone outside of Germany. But of course, you have to take into account that international experience is really, really relevant. And that, of course, it's easier if you're familiar with the German market, because they will also think about what's going to happen in the long run and not just in the next month. And of course, they want someone who's eventually able to maybe also work in Germany locally, apart from a lot of tax issues and other stuff that you'll be facing if you work remotely on the long run. But I think this is a good time to go through remote application processes and recruitment processes. That has really changed right now. And yeah, I think that's a great chance for everyone.
Great. And a lot of people, they are writing in comments, they are appreciating. We have Nasser saying that is great. A lot of people, they are actually leaving their comments and they're saying like, I want to move to Germany. I want a job in Germany. So this session is for you guys because we are going to share an exclusive the job board with you as well, so where you can find more opportunities for the German market. So please don't go away. Jana is going to share that job board with you as well, and what kind of jobs you can explore within that job board. We're going to share that as well. Let me quickly take a look on the comments. So Joe's is watching all the way from Mexico. Thank you very much. Abdul Hai has just joined us, or maybe I'm just coming. He might be moving to Germany. I don't know. Okay, so let me take a couple of more comments. Guys, if you have any questions, please leave in the comments. But I hope what we are going to discuss today in this live broadcast and questions that I have prepared already will answer most of your questions. Okay. There's one question from Anjali. What are the job opportunities for the nursing professionals? As you already mentioned, I mean, healthcare sector is booming, but
so many people across the globe. That's really awesome.
So good opportunities for the nurses as well.
So for nursing, I think there are. Yeah, sorry, there was a technical delay.
Yes.
I think for nurses there are a lot of opportunities, but when you have like a nursing qualification, the first step is always to figure out how this is recognized in Germany, because that's very important if you want to start working here.
Okay. Can you quickly answer this question as well for Nisha? I want to know what is the scope of Masters in International Business candidate in German market? Is it tough to get a job with this degree? Can't hear you actually. Do you mind if you can join back again on the link? Okay, perfect. So in the meantime, guys, if you go in the description of this video, in the meantime, Jana is going to join us back. If you go in the description of this live broadcast, you will see there is a link for jobs in Europe group, which you can click and you can join shortly after this live broadcast, because you don't want to go anywhere else. So stick around. Jana will be back in a while. And this Jobs in Germany group is now the biggest group on LinkedIn with nearly 98,000 members. And you have the opportunity to connect with the recruiters, with the hiring managers. You can expand your network, especially people on LinkedIn. When they move from one region to the other region, they usually struggle that how I can expand my network. Where can I find relevant people within the same sector, within the same industry, within the same job roles? So this is your opportunity that once you join this group Jobs in Europe, which is pinned in the description of this live broadcast, you will have all the opportunities. And on daily basis, there are 20 to 30 jobs posted inside the group, active jobs, and you have the opportunity to straight away direct message those recruiters or the job posters, because you being in the same group and you share the same mutual group. So even though if you are not connected with the job poster or with the members inside the group, you still can direct message each other, which I think is a great opportunity. So in the meantime, let me quickly take a look at your comments. All right, so we have Jana back actually. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay. So just like really quick, how do you see the scope of an international business candidate in Germany?
A bit mixed. I think in that case, it really depends on your work experience and what you've done previously, because I would say in international business, it's all about being international. So it would be good if you already gained some work experience in different countries. That definitely increases your chances. But in general, it's not one of the domains where we have a lack of people, but I think there are still a lot of opportunities. I can see a lot of internationals working in this kind of domain here in Germany.
Okay.
It really depends on your industry, I would say.
Okay, great. Another question we have from Ashik, who's saying, I'm a mechanical engineer with no experience. What is the possibility in Germany or any other? Well, I can quickly tell you that the German market is very competitive, so you better have to have maybe 3 to 5 years of experience, maybe within your home country, where you can get the initial experience, and then you can look out for opportunities in other markets in other countries, because otherwise it's the international competition that come and play its role. So please get 3 to 5 years of experience, and then you can look for opportunities. All right, let's go back to our questions. I really want to talk a little bit about the importance of being in Germany while sending the job applications, because in Dubai, employers, they prefer candidates if they are based out in Dubai, because you can call the candidates, you can have the the initial interview the very next day, and there are certain other privileges for candidates or the applicants who are based out in the local market at the time of their job applications. So how do you see the German market? I mean, is it really important for the candidates to be based out inside Germany at the time when they are doing the job application? But of course, I mean, right now with this COVID thing, there are travel restrictions, there are restrictions on different kinds of meetings. But in general, the importance of being in Germany.
So I would say, that's really an important factor. And what you explained about Dubai, I think is also the case here in Germany. So it's definitely easier once you're here, because a lot of companies here are also not familiar with visa processes. So it's a big hurdle for them to hire someone from abroad. So it's definitely a good starting point if you're here. But just like you said, right now we have travel restrictions in place. And also, I think a lot of you have probably looked into the whole job seeker visa option. So the bad news is right now, job seeker visa are being on hold. I think there are no new visas being issued. And that's why, in general, I always recommend to start with your job search from abroad before investing a lot of money in job seeker visa. You first have to familiarize yourself with the market, and then if you feel that okay, it's still a big hurdle, then eventually I think it's good to come to Germany. Another option would be to study here, just like you pointed out earlier for IT. I think studying in Germany is always a good starting point, and we have great universities. Like I think you know that already.
Yeah, I know that. I studied there. All right. Yeah. So with this COVID thing, obviously, I mean, there are different modes of communicating with the prospective candidates who are based outside the Germany. So we know that already, but you really would like to know from your side as well, like different modes of interviews, how employers, they are conducting the interviews right now. Obviously, there are the face-to-face interviews are limited or maybe restricted because of COVID. But what are the other modes of interviews available to the employers or that they are doing commonly?
Yeah, so from my experience, currently it's really like everything's happening online. So the first interview will either be via phone or via video call. So Skype, Zoom, any kind of option to have a video call is being used for that. I have seen a lot of cases where people are not even having one-on-one meetings because of the whole Corona pandemic. So there are complete hiring processes taking place remotely, where you don't even meet in person or just via video.
Right.
So you should really be prepared for video calls, and for that it's very important to have a camera in place and a good background and everything. Just make sure that when you have an interview, be ready that, for the fact that they may ask you to switch on your camera, and just make sure that everything's in place.
Yes. Yeah. And do make a test run.
Yes.
Okay, great. Just a question in my mind is, because you have worked in the HR as well, and you have been a recruiter as well. And how do you see, like, when conducting interviews online? So don't you think so, like, when people meet face to face, they can better connect with them, they can better evaluate them, the candidates, and the comfort level? When online, there are certain benefits, I mean, in terms of cost saving and a lot of things, but when it comes to connecting with the people, how do you feel like as a recruiter, like when you're doing the interview online, isn't it a lot awkward as compared to what we have been doing for ages, like face-to-face interviews, and now everything is online?
Yeah, I think I fully agree. It's a bit awkward. And to be honest, I mean, I just had this experience. We hired someone for our team completely remotely. So a person who has been working for us and is doing a great job. I mean, we are super, super happy, but we have never met in person so far. Only via video chat. So I think this is really kind of awkward, but I think we will have to get used to it, because I think these are also kind of new times, and maybe this is one of the big changes that we will be going through. And I think it's a great option, because it allows us to live anywhere we want. We don't necessarily have to be in the same city. And I think that's also a great opportunity for employers, because employers can tap into talents across the globe and not just in their city. I mean, you could have an office somewhere in a village, really far away from everything else, and still hire the best people globally. So I think it's a big change, and we all have to get used to it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, since you have already mentioned that you have hired a candidate for your team, so maybe can you share a little bit about your company, about Mitra Germany, and what do you do? What are different services maybe that you provide on your platform, and how people they can reach out to you? So let's put everything in one question.
Sure. So just like you said in the beginning, Mitra is a platform for international professionals. And I have a co-founder, and we started this company a few years ago because we felt the need to close some gaps, because we see a lot, like a really high demand on the company side over here. But we also realize that, there's so much information missing on the candidate side. It's really a big hurdle to move to Germany. And I know this from my personal experience, because I've also lived and worked abroad. So this is how we started the company. And basically what we're doing is we run a platform. We have a great new job board where we share English job ads, so really handpicked, selected English job ads from across Germany. We provide a lot of insights, a lot of great free events, a lot of articles you can access where you can read everything about CV and cover letter writing. And then on top of that, if you need individual support, you can also get in touch with us, because we do offer great career workshops. And by the way, we have a career workshop taking place very soon. So I think today the early bird ticket sale is ending. So we do these kind of workshops where people learn how to write applications for the German job market. And career coaching, you can get your profile reviewed. So we basically offer everything that'll get you started here in Germany. Started from application feedback all the way to jobs, to visa and relocation. Yeah.
Right. So the jobs which are posted on your job board, on the website, guys, which is mentioned here in the ticker below, mitra-germany.com. So what are different types of jobs that we get to see mostly on this job board? And are there any costs, or is it free of cost to apply?
So first of all, the good news is it's free of charge. You can access all of it, and it will not cost you anything. And this is a completely new thing. We just started this job board a few weeks ago. So I'm really excited about it. You can find all different kinds of jobs. So we are really trying to also have a very good mix. So we have everything ranging from IT and software developer roles to engineering to healthcare, also research. So if you are, for instance, looking for postdoc or PhD positions, we also have a lot of different options in place. But we are also always looking out for marketing roles, for HR roles, and for other kind of options. I would say that's a really broad range, and we look for the kind of stuff that people ask us to look for. So you can also always comment on our posts and let us know what you are looking for, and we'll try to take it into account.
Exactly.
The only, I think, kind of scope we have is that we mainly offer roles that require an academic qualification, so a bachelor's or a master's degree.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure that after this live broadcast, a lot of people, they will be reaching out to you on LinkedIn and asking for help, asking for sports, and maybe knowing more about Mitra's platform, which you're running. Now, the jobs which are posted on your website, those will take us to the company websites, where we have to fill out the application forms, the complete details, each and everything. Well, I mean, as an applicant, I know sometimes, the applicants, they get bored, like every time they have to fill each and everything, all the details, strategy, salary range, and experience section, dates, skills. And then and on top of this, there are different questions being asked by the employers, where there are some scenario-based questions, and the job applicants, they sometimes skip applying. So, in your opinion, what is the best way to apply or like fill out the application form? Like, do we need to fill everything which the employer is asking, or still, if something is not mandatory, leave it? And the common mistake maybe which are usually being made while submitting a job application on the company website, if you can just share some insights on that as well.
Yeah, so I think the most relevant factor here is, and that's also why we are not submitting applications for candidates. There's a thought behind that. Most relevant factor is that companies here in Germany really want a very individual application. And they really want a candidate who has looked specifically into their company, their position, and who has taken a detailed look at the kind of criteria that they have in the job ad. And that's why I always recommend candidates to rather apply for less roles. And I know it can be very frustrating to get a lot of rejections and do all this kind of work. It's very time consuming, but it's better to focus on quality instead of quantity. Right. So really take a very detailed look at the job ad and only apply if you feel that, okay, I'm really a suitable candidate. And you don't have to fulfill all the criteria. We have a great video on that as well, where I think my colleague Christoph talks about that. But there are some factors that you should fulfill. And I think this brings me to the application form as well. If they ask for details, it's really helpful for your application if you fill in as much information as possible, which doesn't mean that it should be very lengthy. So it should not be an information overload. But if they ask for information, it's really important to provide the information. And that's why I do understand that it costs a lot of time to do this, but it's really important to focus and do your research and then rather apply for really suitable roles instead of sending out a lot of applications. That's really like one of the most important things. I always.
So while we're discussing this, another by the way, a friend of mine has just. I'm going to ask a very, very important question here. Anyway, a shout out to my friend Bisharat, who is planning to visit Germany very soon, and he's super, super excited. His first time going to Europe, and he's just so excited. So thank you very much, brother Bisharat, for watching this live broadcast. I've seen your WhatsApp, and so this name goes out to you, Bisharat. So he is really excited to visit Germany. Yeah. All right. Now the important question here is regarding the salary. So we know like salary is being taken in different ways, in different markets, in different regions, across different industries. Then also it depends on different roles and a lot of other things. So if the companies on the job application, there is one field for the salary expectations. So as an outside applicant, a person who has never visited Germany, so how should we fill this salary bracket thing? And this field is also mandatory, that we cannot submit the application without filling this field. So how should we go about like with the salary bracket thing?
Yeah. So salary is a really tricky factor. I know that it's very difficult to figure out. As you mentioned, it's a mandatory thing. So if they ask for salary expectation, the bad news is you have to mention the salary expectation. You cannot avoid it. So the first thing I always recommend is to go on Glassdoor, Kununu, and other platforms and to do some research. Because if it's a bigger company, you will always find data on similar like roles or stuff, and then you can refer to this data. So what you have to take into account is maybe the company size, the city, and of course your experience and the industry you're in. But when you do some research online, you will find a lot of information. Just make sure that you're calculating the right salary, because here we always calculate employees' gross salary. And that's a bit different to other markets where you, for instance, negotiate cost to company or other factors. But we do have a great video and also a great step-by-step guide on our website. If you go to the career section, you'll find a lot of articles about it. And there is, I think there are actually a few articles about salary and also about salary negotiation, which I think is even more important.
So it looks like everything is available on mitra-germany.com, where the international applicants, they can access not only the job board, not only the services, not only that they can reach out to you for consultation, but also they can access all those articles which will help them or which will answer most of their questions. And I think those articles, I have personally gone through those articles. And one article, I did like it. It was about the job portals, where you have compiled all the job portals and you have listed there in that article, like list of all those job boards, the website names. All right, I have two more questions, and then we'll go back to the comments and see like if our audience, they have the relevant questions that we can also address during this live broadcast. My next question is regarding the commonly asked interview questions. So those who are planning to move to Germany, those who are already in Germany, or for those applicants, for them interview is coming up tomorrow, the next week, in the next few days. What kind of questions they can or they may expect from the interviewers?
I think the first most relevant part is not really a question, but the first thing that will happen in every interview is that the recruiter or HR person or whoever is doing the interview will say, so tell me something about yourself. Can you introduce yourself? And that's really underestimated. This is the most important part, because you're setting the stage with everything you're saying. So it's really important to have a crisp, very interesting and very good self-introduction in the beginning. And whatever you are mentioning there may be picked up later on. So you could even add some interesting details that you think would be a good topic to discuss. So try to do that. I've seen so many candidates which are, going wrong already in the first few minutes. So that's the first thing I would like to recommend, to really practice that. And then, of course, you can expect a lot of questions about your past experience, and also a lot of questions about your motivation to work for this particular company. And I think this also relates to what I said earlier. Companies want someone who's really interested in their particular work environment and so on, and not just someone who wants any kind of job. So make sure that you're well informed and that you're very clear about your motivation. And they will probably also ask some, let's say, more personal questions about weaknesses and critical situations that you faced. So here in Germany, we really like to talk about critical stuff as well. We are very much into feedback and all this kind of stuff. So be prepared for that as well. But we also have some great videos on that. So if you want more questions and examples, you can go on our channel. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And Bilal Khan is saying, please repeat the name of the website which we need to visit. Bilal, you can visit Mitra-Germany, the website name which you are seeing right now in the ticker below. Just go on this website and there are different articles, very informative, insightful articles. And there is one article where you'll find different list of the job boards or job portals, and then you can make your profile and you can start applying for different job opportunities. Jennifer is saying, do you have jobs recruited from Germany but remote working in another country? So like, do you find like jobs where employers, they are giving the opportunity to work remotely. And do you also post like these kind of jobs on your job board as well on Mitra?
So when you go on the job board, you can set a filter in the location, and you can filter for remote jobs. So we always try to look out for remote jobs. So I have seen this happening, especially lately with the whole Corona pandemic. Of course, I think on the long run, companies will also want to have someone who's familiar probably with the whole market here and so on, depending on the role you're working in. But I think as a maybe like solution for a certain for a certain time frame, there are definitely remote roles coming up. It depends a bit on the whole environment, but we do post these jobs as well.
Great. Now this leaves me with my last question, which is the question that I am being asked most of the times as well. And this is regarding the approaching recruiters on LinkedIn and email. What is the best way to reach out to German recruiters? What do we need to write? How can we actually start a conversation with German recruiters, and what do they expect in the very first message, that how we can initiate a talk? A lot of people, they would write to me. It's not about the German market, but like generally when people, they are reaching out to recruiters in Dubai or in Pakistan or in different parts of the world, they would say like, recruiters, they don't answer on LinkedIn. Recruiters, they don't reply to our messages. We have been following up, we have been chasing, but there is no response. There is no reply from the recruiters. So now when we specifically talk about the German market or the German recruiters, so what do they expect in a message, and how, as a job applicant, international job applicant, how should we go about, how should we write this message so that we can initiate a conversation and we can expand our network?
Yeah. I think the whole this whole aspect is very interesting. I think here in Germany, one key factor is that you have recruiters within the company, right? And then headhunters, like people who recruit externally and place people somewhere. So if you approach companies, I think similar to your application, you have to be very clear about what you are interested in. So best is if you do your research and then maybe relate directly to a role that you have seen and ask specific questions about it. That's I think always the key here. So be very precise and what kind of information you're looking for, or what kind of topic you want to connect on, because you have to keep in mind that a recruiter probably gets a lot of messages, so you should not leave work to the recruiter. I often get messages from people saying, here's my profile, can you please place me somewhere, take a look. So this leaves all the work to me, because I have to screen the profile, figure out a way to place this person and so on. And that's why you will often get a response. So the good thing is if you already do the work and then make suggestions. So I think that's always the key aspect. But I think one important thing to keep in mind here is that if you have a few years of experience, if you're not on a, let's say, executive level, here in Germany, it's like really common to apply to companies directly. And there are only very certain professional fields where recruiters are, of course, active, like in certain software development roles and so on. But for the like general professional, for certain, like for instance, business roles, it's better to apply directly and try to find a way by applying directly to companies.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I hope it has answered for most of the people who have concerns regarding approaching recruiters on LinkedIn or via email, is for the German recruiters. Just a quick question here from Suresh. Any tips do you want to give for student jobs in Germany? Like how we can find student jobs? Are there specific portals where the students can find jobs, like the student jobs? Studentenarbeit.
Or Werkstudent. So there are a lot of student jobs. We do have a few on our job board, of course. We are also looking out for these kind of roles or for internships. And then there are very specific job portals for students. In this article we were referring to, you will also find particular websites which are for students and graduates. So I think there's Absolventa and then a few other ones. So check out the article, and there will be a few examples for students as well. So I think you can look into them if you don't find any roles on our job board.
Okay, Great. So let's take one quick. Srinivas is asking how to reach out. So what would be the ideal way to reach out to you for any kind of guidance, consultation, or how people can best reach out to?
So best would be, of course, the first starting point is go on our website. And if you click on services, that's also our landing page, you will basically, I think, find a good overview of everything that we offer. And you can book a personal consultation on our website. You can also schedule it directly. If you want us to review your profile, that's also a service you can book directly on our website. So I would say our website is always the first starting point. And of course, do also get in touch with us on LinkedIn or any kind of other channels, YouTube, Facebook, and so on. We are active on all of these, Instagram. And if you are experiencing any issue, if there are any doubts or questions about the services we are offering, you can, of course, always drop us an email to info@mitra.de.
Okay. Don't forget to watch Mitra's YouTube channel, because I have personally gone through that channel, and there is like tons of information available there, and there's like videos of Jana as well. Like you are explaining a lot of those common things, questions from the audience and from the people that they are wishing to move to Germany, and you have actually addressed in those small clips, small videos. Another, maybe just one last question, quick question. In the German job market, so basically in Dubai, mostly I would say the interview is just like a one-shot process. So there is one meeting of you with the employer, and then you would just wait for the outcome. So in the German market, so is it like a long process, first, second, third, 4 round of interviews, and then you are being hired or being rejected? Or is it like quick, maybe 1 or maximum two round of interviews or meetings?
I think here you can rather expect a longer application process and several interview rounds. It varies a bit depending on the company, and of course, I think also on the urgency of the whole, within the whole hiring process. But you can definitely expect minimum 2 interviews. I would say rather in many cases even more than that. I have seen companies who did have like up to 5 interview rounds because you usually have a pre-screening where you talk to a recruiter or an HR person, and then you have a second interview where you probably talk to your future boss or a team member and the HR person, and then probably you have a third stage where you get to know the team, and then the team takes a decision. So it really depends. But rather expect it to be longer than a shorter process. I think that's
great. I have just watched on my LinkedIn that while we were speaking, so there is speech to text is turned on. So this is by default, but if you would like to turn it off, so you will see there is a button that you just need to click, and this text to speech. So speech to text will be turned off. So in case you would like to just to focus on what we are saying right now instead of looking at the this text box down, so you can turn that off as well. So I guess this was it. So we have one comment. This is very informative. So we have actually right now there are more than 100 people watching, and initially when we started the broadcast, there were like close to 150 or 180 people, which I think is really good from the network, because my network is very, very active. They really would like to connect with the people. They really would like to move to different parts of the world to gain more experience, to have more international experience, to upskill their game in the career, and to grab more and more opportunities. So thank you very much, everyone who have joined today's live broadcast, and I hope it has been helpful for you. Please don't forget to share this video in your groups or across LinkedIn, in your WhatsApp groups, so that more and more people can get in this kind of information, especially when it comes to moving to Germany. And you can follow Mitra's LinkedIn page as well, which is already pinned in the description of this video. And you can go ahead and follow that page as well. Don't forget to follow their social media platforms, social media channels, especially the YouTube, because that's where you get to see a lot of such kind of information in a video format, and everything is explained in very detail. And also don't forget to go to their website, which is Mitra-Germany, as you can see down in the ticker, where you get to see different articles. Bunch of information is available, especially for the international applicants who are planning to make a move to Germany. And they have recently launched a new job board where you can have access to different jobs that you can apply for, and everything is for free. And in case you have more questions, you would like more consultation, you can reach out to Jana. She is also pinned in the description of this video. You can also connect with her on LinkedIn, and you can reach out to her as well. So thank you very much, Jana, for this insightful session again. And people there are saying, like, nice information. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. It was really a pleasure. It's good to see all the comments. Yeah, I've also been looking at them while we were talking about these topics. So yeah, really appreciate everyone who was watching us. Yeah.
Great.
So all the best for your job search.
Yes. So those who are looking for job opportunities in Germany, wish you all the best, and wish you the best for your career and in your life, and may everything settle down in case you are facing a challenging time right now for your job searching, or financially, or you're trying to moving abroad and things are on hold. And we pray and we wish you all the best for that as well. Okay, Suresh is saying we are expecting more sessions like this. Absolutely. I will definitely come pass by with more sessions, and will bring more value to my network as well. A LinkedIn user is saying, thank you, madam and sir. Thank you very much. Okay, there was one more comment. No, that was it. Oh yeah, from Srinivas, he was saying awesome. Thank you, brother, for watching this. Take care, guys. All the best. And don't forget to share this broadcast with your network, with your friends, and in your groups as well. And the link of jobs in your group is also pinned in the description of this video. Make sure that you join that group as well, so you can have access to more recruiters or hiring managers who are making posts within that group. Take care, all the best, and God bless you.